Kemi Badenoch, will start with the pool questions. First of all, Chagos Islands. Why do you oppose a deal over the Chagos Islands that our US allies support?
The US likes this deal because it's great for them. Donald Trump likes deals which benefit him. It does not benefit the UK. It is not in our national interest. We have owned these islands since 1814. We are now paying to give away British territory. This is extraordinary. It's going to cost the taxpayer £30 billion. I'm absolutely outraged. Whenever Labour negotiates, Britain loses. And what I cannot believe is how this has happened. There were talks which Conservative ministers had, and we paused these negotiations. We stopped them because we said, no, we're not doing this. The reason why is because if you look at the letter and how it all started, it's reparations. That's what this is. And I cannot believe that Labour has fallen for it.
One of the other pool questions was, isn't this deal the Conservatives' fault for starting the talks in the first place, which you just mentioned?
No, not at all. No Conservative minister ever signed this. No Conservative minister would ever sign this. We had an advisory ruling. We were talking about it, but we were never going to give anything away. Labour instead have just accelerated giving away a serious strategic asset, which we had, and the fact that we are paying £30 billion for this over a long period, £100 million a year, that's 2,000 nurses. That is extraordinary. Well, at the moment, everyone can see what's happening to the economy. We saw those inflation figures come out on Wednesday. The cost of living is extremely high. This is not what the government should be wasting money on.
Would you rip up the Chagos deal if you win the next election?
Well, this is one of the things that's tricky. We would never have signed this deal. But once you give something away, it's a lot harder to get it back. There are many territories, like Hong Kong, for instance, you can't just go and say, we're ripping up the deal, we want it back. That's talking about, guns and ships. I don't know whether anyone has the appetite for that. That's not where we would be going. We need to stop this deal now before it's too late. And what worries me is that it might be too late because Keir Starmer cannot negotiate and he has sold this country down the river.
Moving on to Israel for the pool questions, what's your response to Netanyahu's criticism of Starmer?
Well, I'm not surprised that he has criticised the Prime Minister. We just saw two Israeli workers at the Israeli embassy in the US killed. It's a very febrile time. And we've also seen who has been congratulating and thanking Keir Starmer. That's Hamas, that's a terrorist group that runs Gaza. Those are not the people who are on our side.
Is Netanyahu right to accuse the PM of siding with Hamas when raising concerns over Israel's actions in Gaza?
I think that we should always be able to raise concerns where we have an issue. What I'm really worried about is the additional actions which Keir Starmer had taken, breaking off trade talks. I don't think that was necessary. That's going to be to the detriment of the UK. Israel supplies us with medicines, with defense equipment. So to just scrap all that because of trying to send a message, I don't think that was the right way to send that message. So I'm not surprised that he's being criticised by Netanyahu.
Many are calling what's happening in Gaza a genocide. Do you agree?
No. Israel is at war in Gaza. There are 58 hostages. We cannot forget this. There are 58 hostages who have not yet come home. And if those 58 hostages are sent home, that war would end. And that's why we need to put the pressure on Hamas to get the hostages home. Those people have not seen their families for almost 2 years. Many of them are probably not even alive anymore. There are people out there waiting, hoping, desperate to see their parents, their children, not knowing that they died a long time ago. It is inhuman.
Just to go back to the final Israeli question. Should the UK recognise Palestine as a state?
I'm someone who's always believed in a two-state solution, but I do not want a state that is run by terrorists to become a state. Until Hamas is completely out of the picture, until they are removed from Gaza and they stop terrorizing their own people, we're not going to get a two-state solution. That is the real problem. We need to fight Hamas and make sure that they are eradicated.
Final pool question, do you agree with President Trump that the UK should stop with wind farms and incentivise drilling in the North Sea?
Well, I have been very, very vocal about drilling in the North Sea. At the moment, energy is very expensive. We should be exploiting our natural resources. What really worries me is that just like here, where we're seeing the fishing industry die, we're actually seeing our North Sea oil and gas industry die. I had a meeting with several oil and gas producers in Scotland, and they're closing down their businesses. They say it's too expensive. They have an energy profits levy that means that their corporations cannot invest anymore. It's not worth it for them. People are losing their jobs. Harbour Energy, I think, let go of 250 people just a couple of weeks ago. That industry is dying, and this is what worries me. The industry is dying under Labour, and we have to save it.
Okay, thank you. Those are the pool questions.